one of my game when I was very young. E4, knight e6, E5, E5.
Which game you said?
White.
You're white or black?
White. E4. E6. C4. Knight E6. F4. For pawns variation. Takes. C5. My opponent. It's very sharp move. Okay, more quiet line and more solid for black. According to theory, knight c6, and after bishop e3, bishop f5, and then e6 is good development. My opponent played c5, d5, and he played g6. Another line e6, but after knight c3, white has some pressure. G6. Knight c3. Bishop g7. Of course, white has advantage in the center, but black wants to attack e5 pawn. For example, knight f3. Bishop g4 can unpleasant. For example, bishop f4, knight d7. Now pawn is attacking, and if queen e2, black can play queen b8, attack the pawn again, pawn they move d6, lost the pawn, but after castle, take is not strong because rook e8. After taking, pawn takes rook e8. Black is more or less okay. Position is unclear, of course. Queen d2 is queen d8 and then queen f6 somehow. So it was another line. But I didn't want to allow such pieces bishop g4. Because this, I didn't play knight f3, I played bishop f4 immediately. I played queen d2. My plan more or less clear. I want to make long castle, and if now knight d7, I have knight f3, and there is no bishop g4. Have big advantage. E6 played. Make a castle. He took the pawn. Bishop g4. I played rook e1 because if play knight f3, can be similar problem with my pawn, for example, knight d7, rook e1, rook e8. Not easy to say how to defend the pawn, because black wants to take and take. So rook e1 to play. And now, sorry. Now my plan more or less clear. I want to play h3 and then knight f3 and take advantage. Black played c4. And of course now I also can play h3, bishop f5. g4, for example. But the problem is that after bishop d3, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes. Black has two options, knight c6 and knight a6. Okay, knight c6 I don't consider like a strong move because queen e4 minus on the attack. But after knight a6 it's not so easy to play because black wants knight b4, and if to play d6 black has choice to play rook c1 or firstly knight c5 and then rook c8 or knight e6. White has some problem with development, and king it's not so safe, so black has good contraplay. Also, of course, position is very sharp because white has pawn up and center. But I didn't play this. I made another move. Much more strong than h3. Played knight g2. So I want to change my plan because I understand that only good square for black bishop is f5. So I want to put my knight on g3 and then h3 and black bishop g4 will be in trouble. My opponent played knight e6, knight g3. Sorry, it's not magnetic.
There you go.
Okay, knight b4. Pawn is attacking, but just on time. And he played bishop c8. Of course, it's not so pleasant to play such moves, but if play bishop f5, it's obvious that will be too many weakness. If to play bishop d7, it's very strong knight e4 because now pawn is not on the attack, and I have threat bishop g5. So black played bishop c8. Now pawn is attacked and black wants to provoke d6. After d6, bishop e6, okay, position will be unclear because finally will be a good place for his bishop. So rook coming back. My opponent played queen e8, quite strange move. More natural looks rook e8, but after rook e8 I have pleasant choice. First one is bishop g5, it's a good move. Another one is simply a3, knight d3, takes, and takes, bishop e5, bishop takes, rook takes, h1 is some advantage because black still have some problem with development of his pieces, and in some variation my pawn can be quite strong. My opponent played queen e8. I played e3, attacking his knight.
I think your rook is on e1, is it?
No, I just came back to
Oh, sorry.
d1. So queen e8. I played a3, and now after knight d3, check, I can take and for example take. Rook h1 is also possible to consider, but after knight c4 black has some contraplay, so queen takes d3. it's more or less natural. Bishop takes e5. And now, also pleasant choice. I can take and rook h1. Or bishop h6 is also quite good. So my opponent played knight a6. So his idea is clear. He wants to put his knight on c5 and to create some threats, and my pawn on the attack, but I can defend myself from both of these threats. Now my pawn is protected. There is no c5 for the knight, so it's quite a problem for black. Bishop b7. Always with this bishop, and always with my rook. I play rook e1. Of course, I want to change this bishop, but if to play immediately bishop h6, black can take on e5, and they will have one pawn for the exchange and excellent position. So rook e1 is much stronger. I want to prepare bishop h6. My position is much better. Played knight a4. I played bishop h6. Took on c3. I just took this pawn. Of course, quite tempting looks bishop takes g7. If black takes, to take with queen, this threat e6. But it's not so clear another relation. Black can take on d5, this knight, and if queen h6. So I play f5 somehow to prevent knight b4. But position is not so clear because I cannot take on c4 in view of rook c8. I cannot take here because my rook is handling. Because of this, I just simply take it, his knight. Everything is okay with my position here. It's here. All is protected, and I'm comfortable attacking. Okay, probably from practical view, the best chance for black was bishop h8, and if bishop c4, rook c8 somehow. It's again black played queen e7, don't like this move. d6. That is d6. I just took bishop. Okay, my position is winning here because I have huge advantage in the center and excellent attacking chances. Queen g5. Just continue attack. My plan is very simple: knight h5 and knight f6. Played king h8. Now knight e4. Same idea. I want to play knight f6. f5, knight f6. Knight c5. Finally, black has this square for his knight, but a little bit late. And okay, I started to think now. Of course, h4, h5 looks like interesting plan, but it's not so clear for me because, for example, if h4, knight d3 takes, black has threat queen b3 if h5, for example. So I choose another line. play queenage, double attack, 2 pawns. Rook takes f6 is possible, queen takes, and e pawn, and then rook e7, endgame should be technically winning for white. So my opponent played this. Wow. 7. And if I take with bishop e6 is possible, only move bishop e6, bishop takes e6, for example, knight takes e6, okay. Although white should be winning, like has some practical chances. So I took this queen because it's obvious that if to change queen, it should be technically winning position. So it's not so easy to win after takes and bishop e6. But my opponent played knight b3. He wants to play with queens. Play king d1. My idea was that here my king is safer than on b2. Bishop e6. Queen f4. Okay, my plan is simple, h4, h5, so black need to do something. c8. All is protected. Knight e5. Knight c4. h6, queen g5, another option, but queen h6 it's better because now I want knight take h7. It's very unpleasant threat. Of course, black can change queens with queen g7, but endgame should be very bad for black because white has strong passive pawns. f4, very good practical chance. First view, it looks like knight take h7 wins immediately, but this is not true. Because if knight take h7, black has check. And king c1, queen g7. This is only but quite good defense. If I take, if I take the rook, I can take my rook. And I have nothing here because if I push d7, black can give check and then rook d3 and my pawns are stopped and my knight danger. It's not good take on h7. Even in winning position, always player need to be very attentive. So after f4, I didn't take on h7, just played on d3. Of course, bishop f5 looks tempting for white, for black, but after bishop f5 I am winning after knight h7, and here queen g7 doesn't help because I can just change queen, knight takes rook, and then d7. So bishop f5 doesn't work. And my opponent, okay, knight take h7, now it's very unpleasant threat, and he came back with rook. Okay, it's positions objectively winning for white, and of course white has many ways for win. It's not only way, but I want to show you the most beautiful one. If black played rook d8, my opponent played rook c8, okay, we will come back to rook c8, but after rook d8, it's winning way, it's quite beautiful. h5, bishop f5, pawn takes, bishop takes. And now, if play rook h3 with threat of mate, it's not so convincing because black can take pawn after it takes my knight, and my king also in some danger. So but there is very beautiful way to win. Knight take h7. It's questions who will take. The first view, it's nothing special. After takes, bishop takes h7, rook h3, and now rook c, of course not rook d7, because white will take everything, pass his pawns, but rook c7, everything's okay for black, because I cannot take rook if king moves, or g7 for example. Only move rook g7, but enough move. But the problem is for black that if queen will take, we will not change queens, we will just take bishop. This is not mate, it's only check. Simple king d2. I have too many threats and black is completely hopeless because rook h3 is main threat and another threat queen f6. So black is completely hopeless, although white is rook down. So this is not so difficult variation, but I like more this variation. Black will take this bishop. Now I play rook h3. Of course, rook d7, I can take everything and push my pawn. So rook c7. King c1. Now I'm attacking his rook. I want to take. Rook d7. This rook doesn't help because I have e6, e4. Queen f5. Threat of mate, I can just take. After king g8, I can rook h8 or e7. If he takes d7, it's completely win. So only way for black there is threat of mate, but suddenly white wins with queen f6. And not take the queen, but take the rook. It's a very funny position. Black has a lot of material advantage, but like it's possible to speak in German language, verlieren Haus und Hof. Everything. White will take everything. So, what was final of the games? My opponent played rook c8. This beautiful variation wasn't on the board as usual. instead of rook d8, this position. So main line was rook d8, but my opponent played rook c8. Now it's more simple, d7. Rook d8. Quite simple move. King c1. It's important move because if king e1, black can take, and after rook takes and knight takes, rook e8, suddenly I'm losing my knight because if knight f6, they can take. If knight c5, check and take my knight. So, king c1 is much better because of this reason. Now if bishop e7 I can take, also of course I can play rook hd1 to improve my position. So black played bishop f5, rook d6. Queen b3 or queen e2 he cannot play because of mate on h7, so rook g8, last chance. Of course, if takes the rook, queen b3 or queen e2 can be danger for white. I played h5. Of course, very practical decision here was king b2 to prevent activity of black queen, and if rook g7 only logical move, just take it, position is completely winning. But I found another way, more forcing way. Played h5. Now if take or play g5, I can take rook, and because after queen b3 or queen e2, I have checked from f6 already. So rook g8, rook g7, knight e8, attacking the rook, come back, queen g5, another strong move. Queen b3 is not possible because queen f6, rook knight e6. And now, important thing, if queen e7, I can take the rook, and if he will take my queen, I will new queen. So took my knight, rook takes d7, queen takes e6, and now forcing mate. Quite beautiful one. Takes, check, check, check. And of course, queen b6 was also the most beautiful one. What else? I will show you this position. One of my miscalculation. position. I was black against grey. Okay, black is more or less okay after the opening. My last move was rook fd8. I consider it completely okay, and especially he played bishop g5. I didn't consider this like strong move, and my plan was to play bishop e7. It's quite comfortable game because if change bishop, it's black is okay. Bishop f4 is also not threat for black because I can play bishop f6, and then if I will need, I always have queen e7. So correct decision was to play bishop e7 without anything. But suddenly I have seen that after bishop e7 he has knight d5. Unexpected. Started to calculate what is this. Okay, I calculated takes. Was queen c6, bishop e7. It's not good for black, so I start to calculate bishop a6. Knight takes c7. Bishop e2. Bishop e7. And in all of variation, white has advantage. Only possibility for black is bishop takes d1, but after bishop takes d1, white has rook, bishop d8 or knight takes a8 is big advantage. So I decided that bishop e7 is not possible because of it, and played a little bit ugly move rook d7. But after rook d7, my pieces was misplaced. After rook c1 now, white has a better position, and I lost this game. Almost immediately after the game, I understood that my intent to play bishop e7 was completely correct, and I just afraid some ghost because knight b5, it's wrong. Takes. But I shouldn't play bishop a6. This idea is correct, but only firstly I can take the rook. Of course, if queen or bishop take my rook, I have queen d8 with piece up. If rook takes, only now bishop a6. Only possibility for white, knight takes c7, bishop takes e2. It's clear that black has decisive material advantage. Of course, because of it, white should not play knight b5, but if white not playing knight b5, my position was completely okay. So sometimes it's very useful to calculate just taking, not bishop a6 without taking anything, but firstly move which you need to consider it's taken or check. So maybe some question.